Hello again, or hello for the first time. Let me ask you a question. When you think of Syracuse, New York, what do you think about? Football, basketball, NCAA stuff, right? You might think of trains. Syracuse is, after all, the city that the train went through the streets. You might think of the Erie Canal. You might think of the Franklin automobiles. But do you think of airplanes? Do you think of airplanes?
I do now.
Yeah, because we are at Aviation Museum in Syracuse. This one happens to be just outside the city in Camillus. And we're going to show you why you should think of, and why we should think of, Syracuse for aviation. Let's go.
Yeah.
So here's the easy way you can tell that this is an aviation museum. A little windsock out here. That wind is going right along today. Here we go, Amboy Airport Exhibit. We're going to learn all about this. Here's their address right here. Let's go in. It's the entry room area. They're building a future exhibit. Also, it's a 1903 Wright Flyer. Look at that. So they're going to build one and have it hanging in here. And then here's a map of the airport. We'll go in a second. Here's their flyer. We'll leave all the information you need to come visit these guys down here. Learn a little bit about Syracuse history.
This is really neat. This was him learning at Amboy, and this guy volunteers here.
So you can see right there Charles Lindbergh.
Oh, no kidding.
There's the signature right there.
Oh, wow.
See it? Where
So
the yellow says right there. He flew into the Lambert, Monocoque,
his daughter.
Colonel Charles A. Lindbergh. See it?
Yeah.
And she says,
Yeah, marked by that
this is
yellow
wrong.
tab.
So we
Wow.
corrected
That's incredible.
This is the original.
Yeah.
So it's every pilot that
And then everybody, if
We went out to Baldwin's and got there for
any known people, right? Here's a whole list.
And his grandson.
Wow.
And what year they were here.
Trooper, retired, they were moving.
Douglas Wrongway Corrigan.
Yeah, his picture's over there.
You know the story of him, right?
No. No.
Oh.
Yeah, why is he wrong way?
See it?
Yeah. Wow, talk about autographs. Jeez.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You know? It's amazing.
The propeller in that photo. That's it right here.
That's it.
And the manifold. Right. Right there, a little glare, but I mean, can come down here and see this.
And this is
So-
the goggles right there too.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
It's bulky.
He lived down the road, you say?
Yeah, he lived, you know where,
Permit from 1927. Agreement with the city of Syracuse. Right here, in this case. Look at, that's when they're building the first hangar on that property. 1929 world's record.
oh, yeah, but that wouldn't affect this.
Look at that. Endurance flight for world record New York State Fair. Yeah, look at this. This is 1929 air view of the Syracuse Municipal Airport with 2 hangars visible right here. Passenger service ran out of the airfield there.
I'm happy.
And this is the farm that they purchased
This year, we went, next year, we went from
because the land was nice and flat.
the back of the tractor.
A pretty good display around here. I'm gonna show you a few of these things.
Do you see the picture of Charles Lindbergh?
Oh.
They've got a picture of him and then a picture from the paper. I love stuff like this.
The Amboy Airport log was signed and dated by each manager as they started and ended their duty shift. Wow. Is that beautiful?
It says someone broke into my locker. Can I use your safe? It's about the only thing they can't get into. I'll bet whoever it was mighty disappointed.
So many interesting things here. What's this one? American Airways DC-2 in 1936, boarding passengers in front of the Amboy Airport Administration Building. Look at that plane. So these are the early years.
Look at this guy's pilot license.
Yeah. Wow. This is so amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dirt and grass runways. That'd be a bumpy ride.
Yeah. Charter of the Aviation Club of Syracuse, Incorporated of Syracuse, New York.
This side, Ford Park, right? It's a T.
Another whole bunch of stuff here. This must be World War II. New control tower in 1942. These two guys up here. That's something.
I love old-timey flight helmets. I think they're so fun.
Yeah, look at that leather.
Yeah. Let's get into it. That's crazy that they even have this.
I've never seen something like this before. It's a souvenir of the Japanese surrender from World War II. Official surrender occurred on the teak deck of the battleship USS Missouri, September 2nd, and attached to this is a piece of the teak of that deck was made of on this card. Newspaper clippings here.
This is from when it was shutting down. They were talking about one of the pilots doing his last flight.
There's the observation tower in this picture right here. Basically 1951 brought around the end of the airport because the one in North Syracuse had opened, and they for a little while were competing, pretty much, you could say. The other one won out because it had more property that it could expand to. And then this is a story here of how Solvay Process bought the land and used it as a landfill, basically, unfortunately.
There's the aerial view where you can still see the turnaround.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you can still see it on Google Maps.
Yeah.
If you look at satellite view.
We've been walking there before. I mean, you can go here.
Here is a piece of the runway. Imagine the history that rolled over this concrete. That's so crazy.
Oh.
I played checkers that way. Wow.
There's live mannequins enacted the game. That's wild.
So world record was set here in Syracuse. 106 hours. And they beat the previous record of 63 hours. They would climb out of the cockpit and change the spark plugs in the airplane and get gas from the car down below. Look at that. Can you imagine? And right here, 5-gallon can of gasoline lifted skyward to fuel the Mystery Lee. They hooked it from a speeding car at the New York State Fairgrounds. And an engine like this powered a plane. It went 106 hours. At hour 106, Phoenix crawled out of the sliding windshield at night to change a spark plug and lost the flashlight clamped to his teeth. The engine failed and the flight was marred. There's a quote. The flight was marred by an unscheduled descent into Onondaga Lake. I guess that would be unscheduled.
See it down there?
Oh, yeah.
Read the numbers.
$63 from Syracuse to Cleveland. That's crazy. That's a lot of money back in
1929, not everybody even had a car.
Yeah, 1929. $63 is a lot of money. A lot.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Headphones and microphone here. Some actual helmet and goggles. Aviator's kit bag, 1940. Kerosene lantern from the 20s. Over here, an airspeed indicator.
So somebody got the great idea of
1934. There's a horizon indicator. And a GE synchroscope. Synchroscopes are used to synchronize the frequency of two signals.
Do you think it's like the same, like Little House
Express.
or
Right?
airplane? Because I mean, there's Charles Lindbergh with his plane.
Yeah.
A crowd of 2,000 people in 1927. That's impressive. Because
Yeah.
I can't imagine Syracuse was that big of a city at the time.
Wiley Posts, Winnie Mae.
Look at this tiny one. That's the tiniest airplane I've ever seen.
So this is the actual first catalog from Krauss-Heinz, and they developed the first lighting for airfields. And so Amboy Airport is the first one to have actual runway lights and rotating beacons. This case has some of the famous people that landed at the airport. Amelia Earhart. And of course, like we saw before, there's the Spirit of St. Louis, which is also a plane that landed there. Piloted by Charles Lindbergh. Oh, you can donate. Let's do that. It's important. For me, if I wanted one. Okay. That was amazing. That was absolutely incredible. It is actually about 2 weeks later since we went to the new Amboy Airport Museum. That was absolutely amazing, and what a better place to come than the actual site where it was. We're going to do a longer video on this later, but I'll show you the other side. You can actually see what became of this property, and we're going to go down the road a little bit and I'll show you a few other things. So we're just about 2 minutes down the road, and we were kind of through the trees right over that way by quite a bit. This field in front of me is kind of flat. Then we have a little growth, some plants over here waving in the breeze, and past that is the giant hill. And that giant hill is a landfill. But now there's a playground over here and a baseball field. There's also a soccer, and behind me some tennis courts over here. But turning back here, we're just going to go past this playground. There's another little parking lot, and that's where the Empire State Trail is. You can actually walk up there. And there's the trail. Here's the little parking lot, and then the old Erie Canal down here. People jogging this morning. And over here, this is where you can go to Sim's store, and you can actually take a boat ride. And we've been on one of those. I'll leave that linked in the description box down below as well. It's a fun time. They have a recreated aqueduct down here. But we're going to head back up this way. And I'll try to keep the camera level with the ground, so you can kind of get an impression of how much of a hill this is. So I think this will give you a good impression of how much landfill is over here, because I would say right about here, that's where the land is level, kind of. And it's just a big mound. You can see the trail going up over there. So it's a big mound. So I'm not even halfway up this hill. I just wanted to stop here to kind of show you this road. And from some maps that I've seen, I believe this is very close to one of the runways. And it's just interesting to see how much we have buried here. It's kind of like burying history, and it's just amazing. I do have a few maps at home on the computer that I'm trying to put together in different layers, so I can kind of have a progression of these maps through history, and it should be interesting once I get that done. Once I have some more information on this, we'll do another video on the property and just kind of take a walk up the hill and see the whole darn thing of whatever we can see. But for right now, I think that's going to do it. There's a little construction equipment up there on the top of this hill. And we will, I promise, come back and have another video just basically about this area. So it was really interesting seeing all that stuff and ending up back here at the place where it actually happened, where Charles Lindbergh was, where Amelia Earhart was. It's just so amazing to actually be able to set foot on this, even if it's landfill. I'm just not going to hang out here that long, let's just put it that way. But it was a great time. I learned a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun going there and seeing this amazing creation that they've put together of just historical artifacts and just all the hard work and dedication that went into that museum. You definitely need to check it out. We'll leave all the stuff you need to know down in the description box down below. Thanks for coming along with us. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.